Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking all about XRP. We're talking about why XRP itself is so bullish and why the total addressable market is so big for XRP if they come out of this lawsuit. Then we're going to dive into the actual updates on the SEC lawsuit and what's going on there. And then we will dive into some chart analysis and price analysis at the end of the video. So let's hop right into this. Before we dive in, just briefly, want to let everyone know that I do have a free chart pattern guide for all of my subscribers. So if this looks like something that you might benefit from, feel free to drop your email in the description below through that link, and I will send that off to you. So just wanted you to be aware of that, and thank you so much. So here we go. We're going to dive right in to what makes XRP so valuable, and then we're going to get into that SEC lawsuit as well. So basically, if you don't have too much background on Ripple, it's basically enabling global financial institutions, businesses, governments, and developers to move, manage, and tokenize value, which helps unlock greater economic opportunity for everyone everywhere. So there's this really, really large market of folks who don't necessarily have access to this type of technology. And one of the big technologies that Ripple is focused on and can really be the leader in is CBDCs. So these are centralized bank digital currencies. And in a recent, very, very key study, this is involved in a bunch of different VPs of finance throughout the world. There's more than 70% of the respondents surveyed across 5 global regions believe that CBDCs stand to deliver major social change within the next 5 years. Specifically, 4 out of those 5 regions see financial inclusion or greater access to credit as the largest potential breakthrough to be driven by CBDCs. Now, this is a massive market for Ripple to basically corner. XRP, even though there are competitors, they're really the leader in a CBDC implementation enablement for larger institutions, countries, or banks. So that's definitely something that we want to highlight in terms of their addressable market. The next piece I want to focus on here is the fact that 70% of financial institutions now are expecting to use and would like to use blockchain for payments. So this is according to a recent study by Ripple, and this is huge, right? Because Ripple, again, is the leader in this kind of institution to institution, larger entity to larger entity crypto transactions as a digital currency, right? And that's kind of the whole SEC lawsuit is basically, is it a security or is it a currency? And I think you'll find, especially after this video, the SEC does not really have the grounds to be talking about Ripple as a security. Now, that is definitely something to keep an eye out on, and I think another really, really bullish data point for XRP. Now, the one last thing I want to talk about before we get into the details on the latest of the SEC filing, I want to talk about also Ripple's presence in other countries, specifically Japan. So XRP is being used in e-commerce in Japan, and Ripple technology is also used as interbank transfers, right, to mitigate a lot of the cost, percentage costs of kind of doing those interbank transfers. They're using XRP. So Shinsei Bank recently basically used XRP and Bitcoin as a way to reward users. And this basically, Shinsei Bank had their CEO serve on the Ripple's board of directors in the past for at least 2 years. So there's definitely some, interconnection there and a big reason why that they've adopted XRP. But at the same time, it's going well. And so it's a big reason why their presence has grown in Japan. Now, the other thing I want to note really, really quickly is actually we've seen positive investment in XRP from a financial institution perspective. So this is flows by asset, weekly flows, month-to-date flows, and year-to-date flows from institutional investors. And so XRP, we can see that we saw 200K flow in institutional investment-wise this week and this month, and a total of 7.3 million through the entire year. So basically, investors are almost spending as much as they are on Cardano as they are on XRP, even with the SEC news, right? So that tells you something that a lot of these folks maybe think that this SEC investigation is overblown. Maybe they're overstepping their bounds, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But very, very critical to watch how institutions kind of start playing with their money, funneling into XRP as well. Now, getting into the details of the lawsuit, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, and we're going to kind of break down whether or not this is going to go through. So most recently, just last week, it's crossed this class action lawsuit of over 70,000 XRP holders has been really being brought to the forefront. It's John Deaton who's organizing this, and he believes that the SEC's decision to file a lawsuit against Ripple and its executives for violation of securities law was basically inaccurate, and it's affected XRP's price, and therefore affected all the investors for no real reason. That's really the case. And so he is saying, if the SEC really believes XRP is an unregistered security, why are they allowing the sale of the token during an ongoing lawsuit? I think that's a really valid question. If the SEC really saw this as a unregistered security, they would have shut this down already and it wouldn't be tradable at all. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is basically the SEC has been playing around with a lot of Ripple's representation and their lawyers. They're being very, very slow to respond. Some things that should take a day are taking weeks, maybe 5 days. So this is another one of the lawyers working on the case. And he said the SEC's response is simply an abuse of the judicial process and a waste of the court's time, as evidenced by the fact that the SEC waited 5 days to file a one-sentence response in which the SEC then misconstrued Ripple's original request. So they're basically playing games right now, right? I think a lot of them probably understand that they've maybe overstepped their bounds here, but it's going to be interesting to see this play out, because I do believe that there's a lot of reason to, kind of seriously take into consideration whether or not this is going to go through and what's going to happen. And obviously that plays into how we want to act as investors, especially when we're talking about a lawsuit against an asset. Now, the CEO has also spoken about, hey, what are the outcomes going to be if we do get denied, if we do get called a security, what's going to happen? And he's spoken on this briefly. So he said the SEC only has jurisdiction in the United States, and in some ways, how the world is operating right now is as if the case has been lost, right? So if they lost the case and, they just need to operate outside the states, they're going to have to go that route. Now, the next thing is that he's saying that he's betting that they're going to win because he thinks the facts are on their side, because the law is on their side. It seems like that's kind of the growing sentiment. And he's saying he thinks that the SEC has massively overstepped and is trying to take kind of jurisdictional ownership over something that is, a gray area, and say, we're going to go in, we're going to go attack Ripple, right? And he's kind of projecting that this is one of the head legal counsel at Ripple. They're projecting that a resolution will come in 2023. Now, that's really important because we've heard a lot about the end of 2022 if you've been, staying up on Ripple and XRP. But now we're thinking that with everything that's going on, it's going to be 2023. And this is as per the legal counsel at XRP Ripple. So definitely something to keep our eye out there on. Now, the other thing too, which is really cool, is, I love the CEO because it seems like he is just really thinking about the future and done with this lawsuit, right? I think he understands that they have a good chance of winning it. And so they're actually expecting to IPO after the SEC goes through this investigation, maybe sometime in 2023. So if this does go their way, they're looking at a 2023, 2024 IPO. Now, what's important about that is that it's another opportunity for them to raise serious capital, hundreds of millions of dollars that are going to go right to development, right to expanding their market and in fitting their customers' needs. So that's really, really exciting to say the least. And I think that, we have a lot of bullish, a lot of bearish things going on right now for Ripple, but I think, it seems like from everything that we're hearing, the SEC lawsuit is a little bit overblown. It looks like they've overstepped their boundaries. They're basically allowing things like XLM to trade, but they're not allowing XRP to trade. It's really, really interesting, especially if they want to call it a security and not a digital currency. It's really looking more like a digital currency. So the last thing I want to touch on here is just a little bit of chart analysis and just give us an idea of where we're headed. So we've seen quite a good rebound from this low of about 28 cents. We saw us touch this upside support going on right here about almost 4 times really here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We almost try to hit it again there. That really solidifies the support on a chart, right? If you just hit it once, come back up, come right down through it, that's not really showing me much in terms of the structure of the chart. This is pretty impressive, how we've been able to hold this pretty solidly. And now you're going to see in real time here, we're trying to basically flip this previous resistance of 37.5 and actually turn that into a support. So that's actively happening right now within this week. XRP has been trying really hard to flip this previous resistance into a support. Now, if we do that, we're then looking at 41 cents. So ideally we get XRP to flip this resistance into support, turn this into the new support, and then hopefully once we come up to this resistance, maybe we play a little here and then sit on top of that and then go. So definitely some opportunity there as well. We do also have some room on the RSI, so we haven't gone quite close to overbought yet. A lot of the times when we're looking this bullish, we'll actually see tokens be quite close to overbought, which is that 70 mark on the RSI. But we actually see Ripple having some room here at 55, 56. So I like to see that as well. And a lot of times when we've played in this area, we've also had room to run further, right? So last time we were at 55, 56, we still ran another 28%, right? And so if we were able to reflect that here, you'd be looking at something around 47 cents ish. So a lot of good things coming down the pipes for XRP. I think if they're able to basically throw this lawsuit out the window in 2023, which it looks like they're gaining momentum to do so, I think the total market XRP has and the upside XRP has is really second to none in the crypto industry in terms of the institutional adoption that they could have across countries, across financial institutions, across entire societies. So really, really interesting. I do like how much opportunity they have to the upside. Speaking of the upside, I would say I would be worried, and cautious, even if we broke this, let's say 41 cent, 42 cent resistance. My one concern after breaking that is that obviously we have quite some room until our next, big resistance, which would be at 65 cents. And then the other thing to note is that I don't think we'd see a full-on reversal of XRP. So I wouldn't call XRP a bullish chart or a bullish reversal until we find that 70 cent marker and reclaim this. That is the next kind of Fibonacci level on the retracement. So that's what I'm looking for. If I'm thinking, okay, well, when is XRP actually going full swing back to the upside, looking super bullish? It's not until we hit 68 cents. I think more on the short term, we're looking to flip the 37 cent previous resistance into support, which we're actively working towards now. We're around 38 cents. If we can do that, hold that for a week, and then kind of go for that 41 cent, we're looking really, really good. So that's what I have for you guys today. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know what you think of XRP in the comments. Would love to hear that, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.